I remember seeing a very early Peanuts cartoon. And one of the characters, I can't remember which one it was, probably Linus, said to Charlie Brown, just think, tomorrow I'll be 6 years old. And I can reach up and get a glass of water by myself. And I can open the refrigerator by myself. And he thought for a minute and says, infinite possibility. There are various ways in which we go through life looking forward to and thinking we have infinite possibilities. A teenager will often feel that way. Somebody who finally gets out of the home can very often feel that way. I'm free. I no longer have the constraints of hours and curfews and chores that home life created for me. I am free with infinite possibility for about 6 months, maybe. St. Paul said in the letter to the Galatians, the Lord has made us free for the sake of real freedom. But that's not quite as easy to understand as it might seem on the surface of it. Freedom does not mean doing any old thing I want, anytime I want. That isn't freedom, that's license. That's being led around by the worst part of our instincts. Freedom is, I think we ought to look at it, freedom from what and freedom for what. Freedom from what that the Lord wants us to have and enjoy is freedom from all that would oppress us, particularly the things that oppress us from within, but also the things that oppress us from without. That's why part of the gospel has to do with social justice. Part of the gospel message is Christians are to help free people externally from external pressures. But Christ also came to free us from internal pressures, bad habits, beating ourselves up all the time, addictions of various kinds, whether it's to food or drink or cell phones. The Lord wants to free us so that what? So that we can be the better part of ourselves, so that we can give full rein to the spiritual part of our lives. The Holy Spirit has been poured forth in us, and it's a matter of following the promptings of that Spirit that leads to the deepest joy and the deepest freedom. When St. Paul contrasts, and the scriptures do this in general, they contrast flesh and spirit. They're not talking about body and soul. They're talking about the unredeemed part of the human nature. You know, the part that's in conflict with the Spirit, the part of our lives under the guidance, under the promptings of the Holy Spirit. Now, two things I think are required of us. One is that we really rely on and seek the strength of God that we might be free from that which oppresses us. And I don't know who it is that doesn't have some kind of oppression from something. Internal, most of it, some of it external. We need the help of God to be free of that. And we also need the help of God to follow the promptings of the Spirit. And the number one prompting of the Spirit is love your neighbor as yourself. Serve as disciples to make others free. Serve as people who are companions for the journey of those who struggle, of those who have a hard time in the journey of life, who have struggles themselves getting free. In many cases, the person that's best qualified to help someone is the person that's been through it themselves already. We are made for freedom. So we don't want to fall back, St. Paul says. Don't fall back into following the things of the flesh. Let ourselves be led around by the nose in something in our history or something in our psyche, some bad habit. No, allow the Spirit to guide you. And the primary thing is reach out in service to your sisters and brothers, to those in need, not just among ourselves, but everyone, all our sisters and brothers. Following the Lord is not easy. Last week we had part of the discussion on the cost of discipleship, and you get some of those hard lessons today, the cost of discipleship. But the cost of discipleship, the following Jesus, is that one might be truly free from all that would hold us back. Whatever it is, it's God above all, Jesus above all. That's our first loyalty, and other things take their place in line behind it.